Okay, this franchise has got some balls to really chuck at the wall here, and literally. We saw how the sequel movie tried and ultimately just crash landed, and yeah, it looks like it's happening again with this next one in line. What's up, guys? It's Willie, and today, I guess I'm talking about Angry Birds again, which honestly feels really early, but hey, we finally got an official teaser trailer for Angry Birds 3 that's going to be coming out by the end of the year. And just to refresh how much I felt about this franchise, I've expressed how mid it has been. Like, over a decade ago, the first one was brought up, and it was one of the weirdest adaptations that I ever saw, and the indicator of everything that this franchise divorces off from the true individual merit of what Angry Birds was about. And this would carry over to its sequel counterpart, which was just equivalent to its middling atmosphere that I might as well prefer that this would have been a great way to put an end to the misery of this franchise. But of course, the series felt like it didn't dig itself a hole deep enough to, and then also they want to go over this third time's the charm route and give us this. So to preface my quick thoughts on this early trailer, I find myself whelmed, and I'm sure I don't use that word that often, but I don't know what we're even being offered up for this film. Like, yes, we know Red and Silver are parents and they have their own kids to raise. Okay, yeah, but seriously, where is the plot? You know what? I feel like I'm just rambling too much before even going over what the trailer revealed to us, so let's just get on with it, shall we? So we're just already starting things off with Red's struggle with parenthood, because that is the most generic thing that every storyline has to focus on. Yeah, Red has kids. Okay, that's lovely. Good for him. Better not twist the knife in this spot. But then we get to a shot of them at the stadium with Red and some of his allies competing against a pig named Porkchop. Like, okay, that's something that's happening. Like, this is all so standardized. Like, what does this have anything to do with plot? I feel like this is just giving me off nothing. Like the standard trope of a stadium competition, like a team of pigs versing against a bird. And we even see a crowd of them assorted on the spectator seats. It's like it doesn't feel like anything special. Like, Go can manufacture something as a standardized trope like this than anything that Angry Birds could serve up on a bin of crumpled up doodles. And then there's our young child, which we surely needed that cinematic shot of him opening up his arms and legs. Like, you could have at least taken the cues from Kevin Everett. But here we have it with this awful looking baby. Yes, you heard it. He lost his privilege from the cute baby community. Then we have Red dropping out one of his older children, and as that conveyor belt continues to roll by, the movie just has to put down any sort of pop culture reference they can drop in. And in this case, they plop down a list of celebrity names.
LaSwan James, Hendaya, Michael Beek Jordan, Timothy Qualamay,
I said
Bad
one.
Birdie, Tate McCraven, Owlix Earl, Ryan Gosling.
Bro, 2026 is literally chucking Mr. Beast at me. Like, how is this happening again for me this year? If you don't understand what the reference I got from the first, here we go. Like, who in the right mind would suggest, plopping down celebrity names? Maybe that will be a tourist attraction for this movie, when I feel like what you're doing is just making yourself so unoriginal and not trying to adapt for what the overall concept of Angry Birds was, which I didn't mention this, but in the second movie, it completely divorced any sort of adaptation to what the Angry Birds games encompass, and this movie is just shaping up to be dragged along for that. And in speaking of, this is in regards to Red's question on naming someone better than him, which, I mean, if you were to go for the dad route, I would have so much to name. I mean, we have Marlin, Mufasa, Goofy, Bandit, Petey, and just recently, Bowser, who all have their own dynamic charm to add to the fatherly moniker. But Red, I'm just going to give you the benefit of doubt here, since we haven't seen how you have handled it, but just responding to your question alone, I can go on forever with what I just listed out. Then we scroll on to Red's teenage daughter, whose name is June, and she is just your typical teenage characters who just is weighing heavily on those generic tropes. Like, alright, but what we see here is that what appears to be her having a conversation with her dad turns out that she was on the phone with her friend, hence the highlight of the AirPods, which, okay, if you're gonna shoehorn some of these pop culture elements, I guess integrating this is fine enough if you're really gonna try and fit in within the contemporary timeline we're in. And then we cut to a segment with the younger child, which the trailer might as well make itself feel like a baby in need of a diaper change, since they literally repeat the same sequence twice with the young one trying to climb up a shelf full of sharp objects. Like, what is my right to even talk about this concept when I literally do that for my channel most of the time? But here's the thing. This is a project made from a big studio that certainly has a wide margin of footage that they can use to evoke the tone of the film. But by them just replaying what they had just shown earlier, it becomes a possible indicative that there's like a minimal amount of things they could show to interest the viewers. Or, on the other hand, they could just be obscuring some things to make room for surprises when the movie premieres. So just the way with everything that goes on, I'm just inclined to believe the former, simply because films that had similar approaches to this wouldn't just mash that replay button. So all in all, it's just continuing the niche of this film, feeling grounded on its own middling pace. So anywho, this segment does seem to have an impact on our next and most important sequence, Red's friends Chuck and Bomb babysitting the young one. And I mean, Chuck is a bit more reasonable because he is kids' uncle as the sister of Silver, and recalling back in the second movie, he was very repulsed by the romance between her and Red, and it does interest me if we're gonna regenerate that narrative to see how much family conflicts it has added. Who knows? But either way, Chuck and Bomb struggle to take care of the little guy, and he ends up peeing because at this point now, it cements the franchise's signature gag. Like, who asked for this? Now you gotta make me triple it up on this meme.
I am disgusted.
Disgusting.
Disgusting!
Okay, to avoid being subtle anymore, I'm someone who just doesn't find toilet humor to be that hilarious. And often it's an easy way to turn me off of my confidence on the film's originality with their humor. But then again, it's the Angry Birds franchise, and they already established that from the beginning. So I don't think it's worth my breath anymore. And then to wrap things up, the little bird goes exorcist mode and attacks the two. Like, oh god, Red is really raising a possessed one. No wonder he can't handle it himself. Also, this is mostly off topic, but if you listen to the background song of the trailer, it's playing Working for the Weekend by Loverboys. I am most certain that I had just heard that song recently from another film, but I can't exactly recall which. Alright, Hoppers, yeah. Like 2026 has really just started sprucing up the legacy of the song this year, and that's just wild to me in my opinion. I might as well just make this my signature song for the year, because I'm sure I'm hell working on this video in the weekend as well. Yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest here, but yeah, that's where we end on off with the trailer. And yeah, that was mediocre. What a trailer that was. Oh my god. It looks bad, mate. Like seriously, what did I just get myself into with this franchise? Now, I mean, to be fair, I have my chance to be like, nope, signing off, never watching this again. But for the sakes of just the curiosity in me, I cannot refrain from seeing what this has to offer. Which I mean, as of right now, how I would describe it, they're just offering up a recycling bin filled with scrap doodles. Because that's surely what this franchise just seems to toy with. Okay, enough said. To be fair, I am still curiously interested to see what this movie is going to entail, since I know we are jumping forward quite a bit in terms of the timeline from the last movie as years went by, and Red and Silver's children have grown a lot since. So is that time that it really gives us the sense of where Red's state is at. Like, has he totally mellowed himself out, or is he still the insecure, unhinged bird he was back in the day? I mean, something that is noticeable in the trailer is that Red seems severely mellow. Like, it seems that maybe he was able to graduate his anger management program, and though I mean, I do think the parental factor can play into his shift, since he doesn't want to make a bad example of himself to his children. Which I get that for the most part, but that obviously does deprive us from some real interesting conflict. And I mean, to be fair, there is the sort of established conflict with his parental role, as we see his struggles led to him having to contact his friends for backup. But I mean, Christ, man, it's not like it feels anything too special as well. For me, I just feel like I'm getting a lot of like Incredibles 2 flashbacks when I just see this brief segment in the trailer alone. Like, that is what it is when it comes to what this film is suggesting, is that it's not really trying to find some sort of originality or at least a compelling storyline that would make something more charming and inspiring. But I just don't see it that way with this trailer, and honestly, it's just gonna continue on its standard tropes that it feels like as its one-way ticket out of the hole it's been digging into. Just generally iterating, the films in this franchise seem to have a solid idea where they're going. It's that the problem is the direction they're executing is never coming off as elite and charming for a grand scope of a movie franchise. I would be mind blown if this film happens to really reach a spectacle that I was not expecting because of my own knowledge from my viewing of the last two movies. And also, I'll admit, partially my thoughts are a bit influenced by the overall perception of the trailer, which has been surrounded with a lot of negativity. And even from my own perspective, the trailer cracks up to why it sucks, because it just doesn't elicit a really good reaction or really anything that tackles on what we should anticipate with the film's plot. Like, for me, everything is just so vague in my eyes, and I hate being like this, but you know what? If you're really gonna serve us a plate of a nothing burger where you're leaving the fans with complete ambiguity of what your story is trying to elicit, then you're just not doing a good job with selling your case here. Like, gosh, with this franchise. Anyways, this is just what I have to elicit. Feel free to comment down below what you think of this trailer, and let me know if you have any excitement or you are just whelmed with it. There's no harm in honesty there. That's where I wrap things up. Thanks all of y'all for tuning in, and I'm gonna sign off here. See you all in the next video.